Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at 7 men who have been jailed for life after a Blackburn student was killed in a botched hit. Sentences include 34 years each for the orchestrator and gunman who mistakenly shot Aya Hashim, 19. 7 men have received life sentences for murdering 19-year-old Aya Hashim, a law student who was killed by a bullet meant for a rival business owner. The botched assassination, orchestrated by Faraz Salman, 40, was part of a long-standing feud between the owners of 2 Blackburn tyre companies. Mr. Salman, who owned RI Tyres, and his friend Ayaz Hussain, 35, recruited gunman Zamir Raja, 33, to kill the owner of neighbouring Quickshine Tyres, Pashan Khan. Instead, Mr. Hashim, an innocent bystander who had gone out to buy groceries for a family meal that evening, was struck by one of the shots fired from the passing car. The bullet went through her shoulder and embedded itself in a telegraph pole, and Miss Hashim, a promising University of Salford student who had hoped to become a barrister, died within minutes. Mr. Salman, described by the judge as the driving force behind the whole enterprise from beginning to end, and Mr. Raja, who was paid £1,500 for the shooting, was sentenced to a minimum of 34 years in prison for the murder and 28 years for the attempted murder of Mr. Khan, to be served concurrently, meaning they will each serve at least 34 years. Mr. Hussain, who introduced the men and was part of the planning of the crime, was sentenced to a minimum of 32 years, with the judge taking into account at least some level of genuine remorse. 4 other men from Blackburn were also found guilty and sentenced. Driver Anthony Ennis, 31, received a sentence of 33 years minimum for his role in the murder, which the judge assumed had no other motive than gain. Accomplice Kashif Manzoor, 26, who took part in the planning and jump-started the Toyota Avensis used for his crime, was sentenced to a minimum of 27 years. Abu Bakr Satya, 32, who brought the car for £300, was brother of Uthman Satya, 29, who helped transport the men and helped dispose of evidence, were both given a minimum of 28 years in prison. Handing out the 7 life sentences, Mr. Justice Turner said, "None of you even showed any remorse in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. Together you tried to lie, scheme and plot your way out of trouble. It wasn't long before you all started to sacrifice your co-defendants in an attempt to save your own skin." I need not to descend into the unattractive detail, but the speculate of the desperate pagan of lies to which the jury was subjected to, and clearly demonstrated the total lack of remorse and realism from you. The court heard during the trial that the killing was the result of a long feud between the 2 rival businesses on King Street, where resentment escalated into violence. The feud had intensified in December of 2019 when RI Tyres was subject to an arson attack, which Mr. Salman suspected was the work of Quickshine. By May 2020, relations were so embittered that Mr. Salman began masterminding a plan to murder Mr. Khan. He and Mr. Hussain enlisted Mr. Raja to carry out the shooting, while another man, Mr. Ennis, was recruited as the driver. Shots were fired at Quickshine from an Avensis car. The second bullet struck Miss Hashim, who was walking past the car wash. Passerby tried to help her after she fell to the ground, but she died at the scene. CCTV showed Mr. Suleiman and Mr. Manzoor watching the shooting from the adjacent car wash. The 7 co-conspirators denied murder but were convicted by a jury after a 10-week trial. Mr. Raja and Mr. Hussain admitted manslaughter mid-trial, but the Crown Prosecution Service rejected their pleas. Uthman Satya's girlfriend, Julie Chapman, 26, of Great Harwood, who was convicted of manslaughter for her role in driving the men to collect the car before the murder took place, will be sentenced at a later date. In a statement after the conviction, Miss Hashim's family said, "We thank God for the justice that has been served. To our dear beautiful angel, in heaven we know you are in a better place and more beautiful place. God chose you from amongst many and blessed you with matridom. We are so proud of you and we miss you so much. Our lives are difficult without you. This is God's decree, and praise be to God for this. You will remain in our hearts forever. You loved life, and despite all the struggles and barriers that we faced in this country, it did not stop you from contributing to your community and charities, including the Children's Society and fundraising at Salford University, where you were studying to become a barrister. God chose you as an angel in this heaven. Heaven is yours, and may God be with us the patience after your murder. We love you. So what are your thoughts about this truly unfortunate case where 19-year-old Aya Hashim was gunned down by accident as a result of two competing tyre companies getting embroiled in hatred for each other? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.